Welcome to our tutorial about using grips. I've got some geometry on my screen. When I select the line with a left click, blue squares appear at the endpoints and at the midpoint. These blue squares are called grips. I can grab and drag each grip to adjust the line's position and/or length. To access grip options, just right-click, deselect all. Now right-click and scroll down to Options. Let's go to the Selection tab. We use this slider to adjust the size of the grips. Click here to adjust the grip color. Let's cancel out. Uncheck Show Grips if you don't want to see grips, and you can make further adjustments with the other checkboxes. Let's cancel out. Let's select the line again, and let's enable Dynamic Input Mode by switching on the toggle in the status bar. Now, when I mouse over the selected line at this grip, I see the options to stretch or lengthen, but there's no other information available. Right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, scroll to Settings. Let's check Enable Dimension Input where possible. Under Dimension Input, click the Settings button. For visibility, show 2-dimension input fields at a time is OK. Let's click OK, and then OK to exit the Settings window. Select the line again. Now when I mouse over this grip, the length of the line as well as its angle from the horizontal displays. The stretch and lengthen options are still available. Let's left-click on the grip. An input field appears and some instructions. To toggle between fields, press the Tab key. Let's go back to the Settings dialog window. Right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, Settings. Click on the Settings button. Select the third option, leaving all input fields checked, and let's click OK. OK again to exit. There's a lot going on here now. Let's increase the length of our line by 2 units. We're going to type 2 in this field and press Enter. Now let's deselect everything. I'm going to select the rectangle now. As you see, when all input fields are available, it can be a bit confusing. Let's go back to the Settings window. Right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, scroll to Settings. Click on the Settings button. Show 2 input fields. OK. And OK again. Let's make the length of this line 6 units. Enter 6 and press Enter. And select here. We tab to toggle between the input fields. Enter 6 here and press Enter. Another option we have, when we mouse over a grip, a drop-down menu appears. We can stretch, add, or remove a vertex. Let's add a vertex. And let's remove it. Now right-click in blank space and deselect all. Let's select the circle now. When I mouse over this grip, I see the radius value. If we click, we're able to enter a new value for the radius in the field, let's say 7, and press Enter. If I click on the grip at the center of the circle, I can input absolute coordinates for the center point position. For example, 10, and tab to the next field, 16. Press Enter to accept. Let's return to the Settings window, right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, Settings. Under Pointer Input, click the Settings button. Let's try polar format coordinates. Click OK and OK again. Now we can enter the value of the center of the circle in polar coordinates. For example, 10 units at 45 degrees. Enter to register. And let's restore the Cartesian coordinate system. Right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, Settings, Settings button. Cartesian, OK and OK. And now we have different values in our input fields. Let's change from absolute coordinates to relative. Settings, relative, OK, OK again. Now our center point coordinate input is relative to the existing center point. Let's move it over 3 units in the X or horizontal direction. There's our preview in dashed line, and 1 unit up. Enter to register, and our circle is repositioned. Press Delete to delete the circle. Let's select the line now. When I mouse over here, a drop-down menu appears with the 2 options we saw before, stretch and lengthen. Let's lengthen by a value of 3 units. Enter 3, press Enter. And let's right-click in blank space and deselect all. I'm going to place a 3-point arc now. Third point, let's select the arc. An arc has 4 grips. When I mouse over a grip, a drop-down menu appears with 2 options, Stretch and lengthen. Let's stretch the arc at this grip. Left-click to accept the new position. When I mouse over the middle grip, I see Stretch and Radius. Let's select Radius and input a new radius value. Let's say 10 units, press Enter. Right-click on the Dynamic Input toggle, go back to Settings, and let's uncheck Enable Dimension Input. Click OK. Select the arc, mouse over this grip, stretch. Let's move this point 1 unit to the right and 1 unit up. 1, Tab, 1, Enter. Right-click in blank space, deselect all. Now let's select the rectangle. And let's right-click on this grip to explore some of the options here. We can stretch, move, rotate, scale, mirror, etc. Let's select Copy. Snap to endpoint. Select this point. Snap to midpoint. Select the midpoint here. Snap to endpoint, and snap to this endpoint. Right-click and Enter to close the tool. Let's select this line. Right-click on this grip. Let's select Rotate. Snap to midpoint. Let's enter an angle of 10 degrees, press Enter. And our rotation is complete. This concludes our tutorial about using grips.